Hello and welcome to another weekly update, the first weekly update after a bit of a break, been on holiday, and so a bit of a break from the weekly update cycle, which was very nice, thank you very much. It was good relaxing break, managed to recharge and everything, so whilst I've been away, it has been quite quiet because it is the summer season, so not loads of things happening, but there definitely has been things that have happened throughout the month of August. The best way actually to find out about everything that happened this month, because I'm only going to talk about the last week in this weekly update. If you want to catch up on the whole month, the best way to do that is to look out for a monthly update video which I've done on Empowering Cloud. So if you don't know what that is, go to empowering.cloud to find out more and get started. But there's a monthly update that is coming out, I believe, later today, which has everything from the past month in it that I haven't been talking about. So this week, things to take your attention. So there's a little bit of overlap. Some of the things I'm talking about on this weekly update, I'll also talk about on the monthly because the month contains the week, and that's kind of how time works. But let's talk about things from this last week. The first one is a new series that Microsoft have put together called the Microsoft Teams App Camp. And this is kind of exciting. This is great. This is for people who want to learn how to build applications for Teams. And they're already developers and they're already familiar with JavaScript, but they don't necessarily have immersion in any frameworks or really deep understanding of JavaScript. The bar here is really nice. It's a developer who is familiar with JavaScript and vanilla basic plain JavaScript as well, which is a really nice entry point. And this series is on YouTube. It's on demand, and it will help you get started with Microsoft Teams applications, building applications for Microsoft Teams. It will take you through the architecture, the process, some of the underlying fundamental things you need to know, and then all the code you're being shown is all in vanilla JavaScript, so you don't need special tooling. There's a bunch of labs, there's a bunch of videos, there's business briefings, there's technical briefings, there's all sorts of stuff. So a really nice new resource put together by a bunch of Microsoft folk, and they're all kind of good speakers, and this is a really good, if you're looking for a good intro to Microsoft Teams apps, maybe it's been on your to-do list for this year and you've realised we're now almost into, or we are into Q3, we're nearly into Q4, then definitely give this one a go, because this is a good way to get started. All right, if you're already in the space and you're already building things on the Microsoft Teams development platform, then this might be of interest to you. It's how to link your account with Microsoft Teams single sign-on. It goes into a bit of detail about the single sign-in process, which is not new. It's been out for a little while, and I've talked about it a couple of different times. It is one of those things that you just need to get your head around a little bit, and so for that reason, it can come across as a bit scary and a bit intimidating. This is a nice blog post, actually, that kind of breaks down some of that scariness and just lays out how it works. It's a nice overview of how kind of SSO works, how the identity works under the hood, and then a nice kind of elegant solution. It's a fairly high level blog post. It doesn't go into loads of technical detail, but it has links off to all that technical documentation for when you're ready to jump in. It's a good starting point just to understand what the problem is and how Microsoft are solving it with Microsoft Teams single sign-on and that process. So if you are thinking about putting in authentication, and you're building Microsoft Teams apps, you do need to understand Microsoft Teams single sign-on, because when it is implemented correctly, it is a very elegant solution and a very seamless one for users as well. So it's definitely one that's worth understanding. Okay, another updated piece of documentation actually that's nice is some updated guidance and just kind of how-to for something I've not seen done before, really, and that is getting meeting transcripts information using the Graph API. So I sort of knew you could do this, but I don't think I've ever really done it, and I've never written it up or anything like that. But you can, post-meeting, you can go and get a meeting transcript from a Microsoft Teams meeting, and you can do all that programmatically using APIs, which is really cool. You can get insights from that transcript because you're going to get the text, the transcript, so you can mine it, which is really nice. And you could store it, you could search it, I don't know, you could do all sorts of things with it, right? So this is really interesting, this meeting transcript API, and how to use it. There is just one gotcha I will just call out, and I'll put a link to the documentation page so you can see this as well. There is a note on here that says in the future Microsoft might charge you to use this API. So just be aware of that. There is no charge at the moment, but we saw exactly this message be applied to the export APIs, the Microsoft Teams export APIs, and they are now charged. There's a charging model, a consumption-based charging model applied to those, and so just know that might be in the future for these APIs, but right now they're free to use and free to build into your applications. Another thing to tell you about, and this is more on the SharePoint side, a new version, the public preview of the SharePoint Framework 1.16. And this is the first time we've seen 1.16. A bunch of new features. I'm always I know I've said this again and again, I'm very impressed at the cadence and completeness of the SharePoint Framework and how they update so quickly. It's, they've only just dropped 1.15 and they're already out with the public preview of 1.16. There's a bunch of new features in it. There's full support for the new Microsoft Teams JavaScript, the SDK, the V2 one, the new one. That's good because that's now rolling out everywhere. A whole bunch of web part actions, some new properties, some other kind of tidying up stuff. If you use the SharePoint Framework, go check it out. Just making you aware that there is a new version out, 1.16. It is just in preview, so you might want to just kind of hold fire on doing anything with it. Just be aware that it's there and have a look at the new features and see if that's something you want to build in. But again, a really nice, fully featured blog post, I guess, that's got lots and lots of additional resources, lots of links off for more information about the things being talked about, which is cool. And then finally, last thing to tell you about, the ESPC Community Awards. So European SharePoint Conference 2022 is coming up. They have a Community Awards you can go and submit for right now. They are back this year, which is nice. The intent is to reward people in the Microsoft 365 and Azure space. There are a couple of different categories. There's things like most innovative modern workplace solution, best Microsoft 365 solution, best Azure solution, best security solution, best open source solution. You have until September the 14th to go and nominate, share your stories, recognize the efforts of your team or yourself. You can self-nominate as well. And also what you're doing really is bringing the attention, if you like, of the cool stuff you're doing to the whole community so we can all enjoy it and all share in it. So really nice thing to go and do. So go and do that before the September 14th. That means you've got around about a week and a little bit to go and get that done. I'll put the link to that in the notes as well. All right, I think that's everything from me this week. Have a good week, whatever it is you're doing. I'm still trying to find my way back into a regular work schedule, which is fun. But yes, whatever else it is you're doing this week, have a good one, and I will talk to you again next time.